We gotta go back to our roots.
Yeah.
What's the roots?
The crack.
The crack.
Go ahead. I thought you were going to hard crack.
Nah.
I thought you were.
I made too many mistakes last weekend. Hard cracking inside. We're back.
Been a minute.
What, 8 months?
It's been a long time
May?
since we were here last.
Yeah, May.
But we are officially back.
Yeah.
It'd be 9 months, yeah.
Dang. Well, it's good to be back. Haven't seen you guys in a while.
Yep.
In this setting.
Not in this setting. In
Yeah.
this setting, it's been
We
quite
don't
some
exist
time.
outside of this podcast. We never see each other.
We're connected on Facebook and such, but
And LinkedIn.
so to get into the news, we lost a legend yesterday.
Yep.
Wow.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers.
Carl Weathers.
Rocking the
R.I.P.
shirt, the Mighty Mix shirt for him. You know, we're losing a lot of big names soon, which is sad, but it's a harsh reality.
It's the way it goes. People start getting older. That's just the way it is, man. What was y'all's favorite what's it called?
Rocky?
Rocky.
Didn't we talk about this in another episode?
Movie.
Apollo Creed.
Didn't we talk? Or maybe we wanted to.
He was what was his name in Happy Gilmore?
Chubbs. What's
Chubbs?
his last name?
Chubbs. I'm not a
Chubbs.
big fan of Happy Gilmore.
I
He was
wasn't
in
really
something
either.
else too.
He had
Anyway.
He had the wooden hand.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, like that's such a sick character. That's the coolest character. Like a golfer that has one hand.
He is probably the funnier part of that movie.
You know, he's
I haven't
funny.
seen that movie in years.
Yeah.
I watched it not too long ago.
But I saw a bunch of edits yesterday on Instagram of like his speech in Rocky 3. I was like, there is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
I saw.
That was fire.
I
Fire
saw
edits.
one where when they're racing on the beach.
Yep.
And they're like, Apollo let him win to get the confidence to go beat Clubber Lang.
Yeah.
Because he was way more athletic than Rocky.
Apollo had the life in Rocky. Rocky 3's the one where he's swimming in the pool with like 8 golden retrievers. You know what I'm talking about? Is that 3?
And then that's the beginning of 4 again.
That's such a great life.
Yeah, I want to rewatch 3 and 4.
Yeah, just because you watched them 2 years ago, all the way through.
This year. I just finished Creed 3 like a couple months ago.
But you started from.
I
Rocky.
started Rocky a while ago. Yeah, it took me a while to get through them, but yeah, I just finished.
Hot take we might future discuss in this podcast. Creed 3 is the best Creed.
I haven't seen any of them.
Might be the best in the franchise since Rocky 4, in my opinion.
Rocky 4's.
I can't remember. I have to look back at my reviews.
I'd rank them like Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 4, Creed 3.
I got a ranking. I think it goes 2,
2 and 1 I think are interchangeable.
2, 3, 1, 4.
I was not that high on 3.
4's the one with Drago, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, that's a discussion for another time.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
But have you seen that commercial that
The
Drago's
Old
in?
Spice?
The Old Spice commercial?
Yeah, that's so bizarre.
It's such an odd. It's just if you look at it, and you're like, "There's no way this is real."
Dude, all right, I'm gonna say this really quick. I've been watching some of the Expendables movies with Stallone and Arnold Schwarzenegger and all those guys. Like every musclehead ever.
Mm-hmm.
It's the weirdest like concept ever. They all within the movie they all acknowledge that they're action stars and they all say their famous catchphrases to each other in the movie.
Like, get to the chopper.
Yeah. and like Bruce Willis was talking to Arnold and he was like, I'll be back.
Oh,
Like, it's so strange. It's so strange.
interesting.
But yeah, anyways. So yesterday as of time of recording, yesterday was Groundhog Day. I've never seen the 1993
Mm-hmm.
semi-classic Bill Murray
Absolute classic.
movie, and Naders thought it'd be a good idea if we watched it, and that's what we did. And we're doing a little quick little conversation on it. Nate,
I mean, it's the quintessential Groundhog movie. There's not another Groundhog movie.
yeah,
You have this weird American holiday called Groundhog Day, which is pretty cool. You know, it's nothing special. No one ever has a Groundhog Day party. You know,
I mean, except in Punxsutawney,
and only
Pennsylvania.
Punxsutawney. It's big in one spot.
Yeah.
You know,
and which is so like that in itself. Like you could talk about that. Like what is going
I
on?
bet people in Punxsutawney will love that.
There's no other, like name one other holiday where it's like you have President's Day or Christopher Columbus Day where like,
Absolutely right.
I mean, it's like nobody's really celebrating that. But then you got Groundhog Day and it's like maybe some people celebrate it, but just in this one
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool, and like it's pretty cool that there's like one movie for it because we have Christmas movies. You can argue there's Thanksgiving movies, and stuff like that, but you have a Groundhog Day movie.
Yeah.
And I think it's really fascinating who it's made by. It's made by Harold Ramis, the guy who made Caddyshack and a bunch of other like classic late 70s, 80s comedies. Very like happy-go-lucky type vibe, very 80s, very kind of like stereotypical 80s stuff.
80s.
Like Bill Murray's in this. Like Chevy Chase is not in this movie, but could have easily been in this movie. It's that type of vibe.
I could see that.
Brian Doyle, the guy, is in this movie. Like very, very comedian-centric movie, but it's super serious for a lot of the movie.
Dude, like you gotta think, like this dude is. We'll get there, but like it gets dark. Like there for a little while, it gets dark.
Yeah,
And
that's why I like him so much about it.
My dad like used to turn this movie on all the time, and I never really like I've sat down and I've watched it all the way through before, but it never really like I never really cared too much about it. But like watching it yesterday, I was like, damn, like that's real. That's
real.
crazy. Like that is. I mean,
It's a suit. I could go as far as saying it is about way more than just like a Groundhog Day or just like a silly movie. It's a super like deep philosophical movie. I'm not going to go into that, but like.
But then you got Bill Murray in there.
And it's funny.
It's so funny.
And it's romantic in a way. Like, it has all these different angles to it.
I mean, the humor in this, like I love Bill Murray so much.
I do too.
Bill Murray, I mean, he is just in Scrooged. I love him in Scrooged.
No, I hate that.
We don't like Scrooged.
What? How can you not like
I'm
Scrooged?
glad we brought that up. I found a lot of parallels with this movie and Scrooged.
I haven't watched Scrooge in a while because I didn't like it, and I was like, I don't need to
I
watch
never
it
want to see
again.
that movie ever again.
But I didn't like it, and I gave it like a 4 out of 10. And I was
It's just like this.
It's a retelling of.
It's like.
I thought it was a lame retelling of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol.
But it's still like. It's like you take this serious story that you read in English class in like 6th grade or 7th grade, and then you have Bill Murray just.
I didn't hate as bad as him, so you need to get on him more.
Bill Murray just went like took that whole story. You got to think about what he did to that story though. Took that story and just flipped it into like a comedy, and then had it going serious again. Then by the end of it, you're still laughing. Like I think that movie is I can see it being pretty similar to this movie.
Shout out Charles Dickens, great.
Shout out Charles Dickens.
Shout out Charles Dickens.
I also don't really like the whole Christmas Carol as a story. It's not.
I love the Christmas Carol.
It's not my favorite.
It's just I don't like the Scrooge version of it. I think the Christmas Carol is a super serious story, and I like the super serious version. I don't like the comedic version of it.
I like the story. I remember. I mean, it's just like a middle school thing you read in English. It's not like you're ever really like that. Like what other movies have been made about that? Like there's the one movie, A Christmas Carol.
Yeah. The Christmas Carol's been made actually a ton of times.
Yeah, and then you got the Disney one where they did like the whole animated thing. I remember watching that.
You know, I don't think I liked it. What's the guy's name? He's the bald guy in X-Men in the wheelchair.
Professor
Patrick Stewart. Is that his name? He's in A Christmas Carol in like 1981. He plays Scrooged. They've made it like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
They've made it a ton of times.
But you're not laughing.
No, it's true. It's not a. It's
you're not laughing at that.
I don't think I laughed at Scrooged.
What?
I don't remember laughing, but like it is Bill Murray, so
dude,
it's
Bill,
goofy.
have you seen all the Ghostbusters?
No.
Have you seen all?
I'm gonna watch them all.
You seen the first one though? You seen the first one?
I've seen like parts of it.
I mean, you just laugh so hard.
You gotta watch Caddyshack. You gotta watch Caddyshack.
Yeah, I do have to watch Caddyshack.
You're gonna love that.
Yeah,
it's hilarious. But going back to the comedic side of Groundhog Day, I went 2/3 of the movie not thinking it was funny at all, and then Steven Trablowski's character,
Ned Ryerson.
Who was that?
Ned Ryerson.
Ned.
Ned Ryerson.
Ned.
Whenever Bill Murray hugged him. And he that little trot away, that broke me.
That was pretty funny. That was funny.
I think a movie like this is funnier the more times you watch it because you familiarize yourself with like the very like niche lines that you don't notice the first time, and then you think those are funny. At least that's what I think is funny in the movie.
And the funniest line, arguably one of the funniest lines in the movie, is not even from Bill Murray. It's from whatever what was the bed and breakfast lady's name? What was her name?
Miss Lancaster.
It was the day that he woke up. The first day he woke up, and he goes, what was her name?
Miss Lancaster.
Miss Lancaster, do do you ever get deja vu? And she goes, I don't know. Do you want me to ask the chef? I mean, that's hilarious. Like, that's hilarious.
I like the part where he's getting every Jeopardy answer right. They're just so
and he looks at her before the question's over.
The Finger Lake. Like that part is just so funny.
Okay, no.
But it's not funny the first time, you know?
I get it.
It gets funnier every time you watch it because you know it's coming.
Oh, man.
So.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay, so we'll start. I mean, towards the beginning. I didn't think he was such a bad guy. Oh, anyway. What were you saying?
Well, this is like probably something we should talk about before we get into like the beginning of the movie. What is Groundhog Day? Is this Gopher actually talking?
No.
Like, is he actually looking for a shadow?
It started in the
like
late 1800s.
Yeah.
And it was like this thing that they did in Pennsylvania where they had this groundhog named Phil, and they would, it's very cold in Pennsylvania. And to my knowledge, now Groundhog Day experts that watch this, I don't know how many there will be, but they can correct us, I guess. But they would do this weird tradition where they got this groundhog out of his hole, and if it was a sunny day, basically they would judge on February 2nd it was sunny, that the groundhog would see his shadow, and therefore there would be 6 more weeks of winter.
6 more weeks of winter. And then if
there was a cloudy day on February 2nd, he wouldn't see his shadow.
Early spring.
And then it would be an early spring.
Which, so far,
doesn't really make sense.
It's not like a real thing that determines the calendar of the date that spring starts. It's just
this weird traditional
if he doesn't see his shadow, it's good luck. It's going to be warmer.
And apparently, I saw it was all over Twitter yesterday that apparently lifetime Punxsutawney Phil is 390, which in batting a batting average is pretty good. For baseball, 390 is pretty good, but so it's 39% lifetime.
39%. That's not a good meteorologist.
No, but I guess if you're talking baseball, it's pretty good. Or shooting from 39% is pretty good.
Yeah.
So.
All right, so go back. You don't think he's that bad of a guy?
Okay, so first of all, I don't understand why this was happening to him in the first place.
He's just super superficial.
He's not a bad guy.
The only time he's ever nice to someone is when he puts on his meteorologist face. He puts on this meteorologist face like to Miss Lancaster. In the morning, he does the weather thing for her. He does all the hand motions and the pointing, but other than that, he's just like a.
And then he was like, "Did you really want to talk about the weather? You're just making chit chat."
He's just an a-hole.
But still, there's way worse people than that. Why is it happening to that guy?
And he also they made it a big point. He referred to himself as the talent. He's very.
That was just funny. That can't be him being serious,
I guess.
And whenever what was the girl's name?
Rita.
Whenever Rita was naming off the things that she likes in a man, he can't be afraid to cry in front of me. He can't be this. He has to love his mother. And then Bill Murray just me. I feel like I'm. And
then when she says cry,
spot on here.
When she said cry in front of me, she said you are talking about a man. Right? That was funny. I don't know. He's not the worst guy in the world, but he's definitely an asshole.
I don't think he deserved to have to do to live this whole day over and over and over again.
Weird that we talked about A Christmas Carol because it is the same basic concept. You have to you have to go through this experience of weird time travel stuff.
And he's a DJ
to learn. Yeah, to learn to be a better person and live life correctly. I guess they're saying. But
yeah.
I guess you were saying he's not the worst person ever, but he's obviously not Rita is the love interest, and Rita would obviously have zero interest in him at the beginning of the movie, even though she's a super. In the first scene of the movie, you get that she's a super positive, upbeat.
Yeah, no, she's happy.
She's super nice to him.
She had her blue suit on. She was messing around with the weather. It was funny.
And she's nice to him, even though he's nothing but cruel to her the whole time.
Yeah.
He's nothing but mean to the camera guy, the ugly dude. What's his name? Chris something.
Oh man.
But yeah, he's a weird actor. But
Larry. No,
Larry in the movie, but his real name's Chris. Chris something.
But okay, so here's the whole thing. So you remember whenever he gets that info from that lady Nancy, and is okay, you went to this high school, you're from Pittsburgh, you had this English teacher, and that, and basically just uses all of this information to get in her pants, right? Yeah. It's that's just exactly what he did. And then, but you got to think he's doing the exact same thing to Rita throughout the entire movie, and eventually it works. Eventually he figures out exactly what she likes.
Well, here's the thing, because he basically does, because this is remember the scene where he got the ice cream off the ledge?
Off the windowsill, and he was trying to get her to stay?
Yes, so that scene, he obviously doesn't get anywhere, because that's the scene where he's I know everything you like, I have predicted everything correctly, and like this should be the perfect moment of like, I score, I get you in bed.
But that's the thing. Is that what he's trying to do? Does he actually like her, or is he?
I think at that point he doesn't. He's just trying to, like, he's obsessed with like getting, like, every day. It's the same day, but to him, every day is just trying to get this woman.
Yeah. Okay.
But at the end of the movie, he doesn't even try to really get with her. He just ends with her.
He's like, because at that point he's like, I tried.
From pure exhaustion, he falls asleep with her in his bed because of how good of a dude he is at the end of the movie. Is that he's so exhausted from helping other people. He just falls asleep in his own bed with the girl next to him.
I forgot about that whole like all the good deeds that he does.
Yeah,
I completely forgot about that.
It's like the whole movie is about every day. Is he like, at first he's like really confused with what happens, obviously, and then he goes to like a depression phase of like, I just want to kill myself, and like every day I do something weird or like get super drunk and there's no consequences or break the law. But at the end of the movie, his obsession every day
making sure everybody's good
is to perfectly time out how I can help the most people throughout the day. I don't have to be here at this exact second to catch this kid falling off the street.
Yeah.
I don't have to be at the restaurant the exact second to help the guy who's choking. Mm-hmm. I have to, he has to perfectly plan out every second of his day so we can help out the most people.
Yep.
Which is pretty interesting.
There is one there's a couple not loopholes, but I just think they kind of weren't written well. Mm-hmm. In one of the last scenes, whenever he's playing that mean rock and roll piano, and then the piano teacher is like, "That's my student."
Yeah.
But when in that day would he have gone to knock on this woman's door, give her the money, do a piano lesson, but he already knows how to do.
You have a good point. I just think
it's just like
I think it got to be a bit with him, or a bit within the movie, where it's like this guy every day goes to the piano teacher to learn the piano, but every day he shows up better, and eventually he's just like a master. He shows up for a lesson. He's like, "Oh, this is my first day."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I must be an amazing teacher."
Okay,
so
okay.
Kind of like a bit within the movie.
Yeah. That actually is funny. Like, I must be a great teacher.
That's my student. It's his first day, and he's this good. And every time I watch the movie, I wanted to bring this up at some point. Every time I watch the movie, I get more convinced of like how long he's on February 2nd. Like at first, I was like, "Oh, he must be a year. He's probably lived the same day a year." Like I'm at this point, he probably lived like a lifetime on February 2nd. Like dozens and dozens of years.
Like dozens of years?
You know what I mean? Like
I bet it was a year.
He knew. I'm telling you, the more you watch it, the more you convince yourself of how long. Because think about all the things he did. Not only did he memorize every detail about each person in that time,
and did all the Jeopardy. That would be.
And it's not just like, oh hey, I'm gonna meet JC at the diner and have a conversation with him and get to know him a little bit. He memorized it. He never forgot these things. He's talked to all these people multiple times. He's learned how to play a piano. He's an honorary doctor. That's a part of the movie. Yeah. He has memorized so much French poetry. He has tons of books on his wall where he's memorized all this French poetry. This is not just like do it one time. Like you memorize these things. And this is with the points of him just being productive. Remember, there's points of his life where all he wants to do is like kill himself. And
every
he just lays in bed all day.
Yeah, that's true.
There are points where he does nothing. There are points where he is really focused on meeting everybody. There are points where he's really focused on manipulating Rita. There are points where he's really focused on manipulating other people, of like convincing them he's God. There's sometimes he's having fun, sometimes he's learning piano, sometimes he's going out with women. And think about all the times with Rita, he messed up one thing, and he has to go relive another day. And you don't think he did that with everything else? I would think he'd do that with everything. I messed up one thing, I'm going to relive that day. I have nothing better to do. I'm going to redo that whole day all over again, just to make this one thing right.
Yeah.
I would totally make sense. Now, we'll never know, but like he could have relived that same day for like dozens of years.
That's true.
Wow.
I didn't really think about it like that.
Like a super, super long time.
Long time.
Alright, so I have 3 main questions within the movie. That brings up the first one. How long do you guys think living the same day over and over again would be enjoyable?
Not super long.
Depends.
For me, I think it would be for a while.
It depends, because it's like if you know that you have 0 consequences, and you know that if you were to die, like if you were to do something, like if I woke up here every single day, every day, and I knew that at 6 a.m. I would wake up in my bed. Like if I woke up here 6 a.m. every single morning, I mean, I I think it would take a really long time.
Like if you could choose to go on to the next day.
Oh wow.
Oh, how long?
Yeah.
Man.
You had this one opportunity to relive one day, and you can choose when.
And you had to know, like at the start of it, you had to know, like I'm signing up for this long.
No, I'm not necessarily saying that. Just like how long do you think you would go?
How long could you squeeze enjoyment out of the same day?
Yes.
So many.
I think at least multiple years.
It depends in the town. In the town of Punxsutawney, I don't know.
Could you pick the day?
I mean, say tomorrow or
the fair. Dude, if it was the fair.
Oh, or like a football game? You know what I mean? Like different tailgates I go to?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, dude, imagine it was the day of a football game.
No, but imagine it's a random day. Just a random day.
I mean,
random average day. Like
if you could get to the level of obsession where you know everything that's going to happen and you know everything about every single person, then yeah, that could get a little fun for a little while.
No,
that would never. Like I would never put my time there. I would be going. I would be going other places every day.
I would be doing.
Well,
actually, that's the thing.
Punxsutawney.
That's actually true. I didn't think about that.
And
if we were here, like.
That's where the biggest plot hole in the movie is, in my opinion. Because what if he wakes up at 6 a.m. and he can just leave?
And just leaves and just goes right then and there.
We never saw him try to do that.
Have you guys seen Palm Springs?
What?
Have you guys seen Palm Springs?
I'm not.
It's the same concept. Wakes up in the same day in Palm Springs, and then one time he tries to drive as far as he can, fall asleep at the wheel, wakes up back in Palm Springs.
Interesting.
Interesting.
That's a good one. You guys should watch that.
I wish they would have included a scene of that in Groundhog Day. Because he could wait, because he got snowed in at like 12.
Yeah, he could have gotten out of there.
He had some hours to get out of there. But they never show him doing that. But I assume, they would write around it like that, like Palm Springs does. But
he probably tried.
Probably, they just never showed it.
They just never showed it. Because, like, if you're there every day, you're going to try everything. Like, if you're getting to the point where you're killing yourself, like... just at noon, and you're not killing yourself at 6 a.m. It's like you can drive at 6 a.m. Like you can go.
At one point he was like, "I've been shot, I've been stabbed, I've jumped off buildings.
Yeah,
I've drowned."
Dude, the toaster was out of pocket. That was out of pocket. That whole scene was out of pocket.
And then Miss Lancaster was like,
and then the power goes out.
Yeah,
it's like she knew.
She instantly knew it happened.
Yeah, she knew because he saw him take the toaster. Oh, that was bad. That was funny though. It was a good movie. Yeah.
How would you guys? My second question. You're in that situation. You're kind of going stir crazy. What would be your guys' strategy to convince the people that you're actually reliving this? Because the first couple of times when you're trying to do it, I was like, that is that's a terrible way to go about it.
Yeah.
How was he doing it at first? Like the way that he was doing it was like. Or the one that I remember was like, okay, their waitress about to drop the dishes.
Yeah, it's very arrogant. It
was, I am God. I can predict everything that's going to happen. I know everyone in this room. I know everything about everything in this room.
I would sit someone down, like I would read it down and be like, look, I know this sounds crazy, but I've been living the same day. Like,
but what's she going to level?
I mean,
so explain to me how that would convince her. How would you convince her? Because I don't know of another way besides what Bill Murray did of like, I am God. Of like, I know everything.
I'm telling you, honestly, I know everything.
I would honestly be like, those movies where they live the same day over and over again? I'm in one right now. I'm like, that is what's happened to me, I swear.
Was there a movie out back then?
93?
That concept? Maybe.
I don't know.
Screwed.
Back to the Future? Was it out yet?
Yeah, 85.
Yeah.
Back to the Future. I'm living in Back to the Future, except I don't go anywhere. I just stay here.
There you go.
But you keep bringing up the God thing. I saw a really good review on Letterboxd saying, man who thinks he is God gets turned into an actual God until he wants to become human again. Until he learns to become human again. Which is like, that really that took my review from a 3 out of 5 to a 3.5 out of 5.
Yeah.
Because looking at it like that.
And where did you see that?
Letterboxd.
It's a very existential movie. I don't know if y'all know what existential that word means. Yeah.
Like an existential crisis.
Yeah. It's a very existential movie. It's very, meaning of life, stuff like that. So.
And it meant a lot, I feel like. I feel like it meant more than the other stuff that we watch, typically. You know?
Yeah.
Like that was it was a little heavy.
I put it up there with Field of Dreams.
Yeah. Field of Dreams is good.
I think Field of Dreams is super deep, but I'm in the minority, probably. But was there a third question?
Yes, but this will kind of
Okay.
relay into it. Raise your hand if Rita's bad.
I mean, it's like
I think she's super cute.
if you got to know her like
Absolutely,
crazy.
personality puts her over.
The other thing with Rita is like, look, like you gotta think about this from her point of view. Like, she starts this day not liking this guy very much and like being this guy's supervisor.
Yeah.
And then by the next morning, she's convinced, like, let's live here.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, it's
and
just
even the way she was on the last night with him, like she was head over heels for this guy.
for a guy that she saw in the morning and then saw later that night.
Yeah.
And that's it. Like she started her day.
It's because he devoted his life to other people.
But like, what it's
He wasn't
didn't
trying to
even
go
know.
after her. He wasn't. She was being because remember, he buys her as an eligible bachelor at the end of the movie. She wants him, not the other way around. That's what's changed.
See, girls won't do that though. Girls
But that's like the theme of the movie. The
Guys would. Guys would
ultimate
for
message
sure.
of how to get yourself out of Groundhog Day is to make Rita want you, not the other way around. Like, it's not like you're convincing her to sleep with you. It's like she's going to do it.
He really didn't even do much. Like, he didn't in front of her.
He made himself the most popular man in town in his first day there. That was by helping other people.
Okay, yeah.
Which is like so, like he's regarded as so cool to other people, like that she wants him. He's desirable because everyone knows him, even though he's a stranger. He's a stranger walking in the room and is immediately the most popular guy there. Like that's attractive to a girl.
Okay.
I will say she looks super alike. I don't know how to say this without sounding super weird.
Okay.
Not weird like that, but like she looks like Jennifer Connelly, but like in a slightly uglier way.
I think
Jennifer
she
Connelly?
looks.
I'll show you a picture.
I think
She looks like the Seinfeld girl.
I think she looks like. All right, she looks like Julianne Dufresne.
Is that the Seinfeld
Gina
girl?
Davis, Jennifer Connelly, and a little bit like the girl from Weird Science. Like, combine all those.
It's just all the perm, man. It's just I can't deal with that.
I like that curls.
That's
man.
such
I like
a-
the curls.
It's
And yeah,
just-
her accent was.
That was cute.
Oh,
think-
and she looked like Margaret Qualley too. A little bit.
That girl?
Margaret Qualley?
No, what?
A little bit. A little bit.
What's Rita's name? Let's see. Annie McDowell.
Whatever the Seinfeld girl's name is.
Julianne Dufresne?
That's her. Julianne Dufresne.
Right?
She looks like Julianne Dufresne. That's the only thing that I could think of. That whole time was Julianne Dufresne. Looked
Or it might just
exactly
be
like
Julie
her.
Dufresne. And she kind of looks like Juliette Lewis too somehow. I don't
Who's
know.
Juliette Lewis?
The girl in
Spelled-
Christmas Vacation.
Dude, I would have to see a picture of her. The girl that jumps in the pool.
No. The kid. But she looks older. Hold on, I'll pull up Juliette Lewis. A little bit like her.
Okay,
A little bit, and then
She looks like Jennifer Connelly too.
Julia Louis Dufresne. This is who you're thinking of, right, Chase?
Yeah. She looks like her too.
Mm-hmm.
It's a weird combination of a bunch of different black-headed
That girl.
actresses.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing. There's some scenes in Seinfeld where she has like her perm, and it's like this girl looks exactly like that girl.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but that's just the '80s, I guess.
Yeah, it was the 80s.
80s were a sick time.
Did you notice? Hold on, this is going to be a big one.
Oh.
I have to double check and make sure I'm not completely making this up. But I saw a huge cameo at the end of this movie from a very young Michael Shannon.
Who's Michael Shannon?
Michael Shannon is this fella.
Oh, really?
What?
Michael Shannon, he's in this movie for about a minute.
Who is he?
He is the guy whose wife is having second thoughts about getting married.
Oh!
And for about a minute, he's on screen. He's like, "Thank you, Phil, for convincing my wife to marry me."
Yeah,
And
that was kind of weird. WrestleMania.
Yeah.
I mean, that
That's
was
Michael
funny.
Shannon.
Okay.
Grows up.
I didn't even.
That's the thing. That also goes to show how long Bill Murray was in that town, because he knew that they somehow he got to speaking to these two people that are sitting at a diner.
And that is days of saying different things, trying to bring up different responses
to a complete stranger. Yeah. That's the thing. You can sit there and try to talk to a stranger,
and he forgets you every time. So you have to start over.
Well, and they'll shut you down if you say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
So it's like playing that game where you that Nickelodeon game where you step across the stairs, and then when you get it wrong, you have to go back and you have to do it all over again. You're trying to enter these people's minds.
It's a bunch of squares. I forget exactly what it is, but it's like, dude, you get shown the path one time, kind of like in Indiana Jones. Imagine that.
I got you there.
Imagine that, but every time you failed, you had to start back over.
So that's what I'm saying. Bill Murray has to know the way to start to get into this person's head and get them to open up to him, and then, like you said, all these days he's trying something else, and if they kind of stop talking about it, it's like, all right, I can't say that. Then he says something else, and it opens up a little more and a little more. So that kind of brings you up to my third question.
Full 24 hours have to go by for him to get back there.
Yeah. That brings me up to my third question. Do you think it's possible, if you had all the time and all the days to start over, to make not one but multiple girls or people end up like what's her name? Rita and Bill Murray were at the end? Do you think if
multiple people like that?
Yeah, not in the same day, but to get one person to fall in love with you, and then to
Bill Murray didn't wake up and it wasn't February 3rd, and he had all right, I did that one.
Yeah.
Time for another one?
Yeah. You think that's possible?
I mean, he had a limited time, so yeah.
Eventually it would be. You would have to do a lot of searching, because you got to think, if let's say the goal was to get. Let's say the goal was for a girl to get us to fall in love with him, but it was a Sunday after a night out. It's how are they going to get us to fall in love with him if we're just sitting there on the couch? Yeah. It's that's never going to happen.
But eventually you will run out of bachelorettes.
Eventually you would run out of options. If you just kept going and going and going, then yeah.
Well, so basically what I was alluding to was if you happen to strike lucky and hit on all cylinders with a person in real life, do you think it's possible for them to be that head over heels?
No.
I mean, it's possible, but the chances are so.
This is the type of situation where it's obviously there's a science fictional plot, but the context of the movie is that Bill Murray not only has obsessed over this girl for years and knows everything about her, and she knows nothing about him virtually, is that he has planned an entire day around the fact that he is going to do all these things, and then at the end she notices and appreciates that so much and is so taken aback by it that she falls in love with him. That is so out of our reach of being able to do that. That's obviously,
well, if it does happen, then it's meant to be.
I mean, yeah, but
but he had
someone being taken
tries.
aback by you by your let's say you are in a room and a female is taken aback by your presence in the same vein. Obviously, that's going to be a natural attraction to somebody, but it doesn't have a context of years and years of I don't know. It's not going to be the same.
Years of knowledge and getting to know somebody over and over.
It's not going to have the same authenticity. A girl would be falling in love with the idea of you. It wouldn't be the.
Well, I think it's more authentic if it happened now than what it was in the movie scenario, because he's going to wake up on February 3rd, and they're going to be together, and he's going to know years of her life. And he's going to have to act like he doesn't learn these things as they're together in their relationship.
I guess you would say it's more a real life example of this would be more, how would you say it? Raw?
It would be like meeting a celebrity. A celebrity that you've done research on. Or some, like an actor. An actor that you know everything that they've ever been in.
And you acted like you didn't know.
And you would have to sit there and act like that you didn't even know
what's
who
your
they
name,
were.
where are you from, what do you do?
That's what I did with Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
I was like, what's up, man?
That's what I would do with Margo.
And then he was like, what's your name? I'm like, what about you? He said Jonah. I was like, all right.
No, that's how you act.
That's like how you have to act.
That's the perfect way to, yeah.
That's the perfect way to explain
No one
it.
wants to, like, you to come up to them and act like
Because that's the thing. And imagine if it was just a normal person.
No.
Imagine if you knew everything about this one person. Like, they wouldn't want you to know that. They would want you to, like, if they genuinely wanted your presence and they wanted you to be around them, then they would want you to learn that. But, like, you already know. So would you be able to act like you didn't know? Probably not. Because that's tough.
What's your name, man?
What's your name, man?
You look like that one guy from Superbad.
That was the craziest experience ever. Told you that story? And then 30 minutes later, I met Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, I forgot about that part, but I remember now, yeah.
It's the most ridiculous shit that's ever happened to me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have I ever met a celebrity?
My mom met The Rock.
Oh, that's cool.
That was pretty cool.
Definitely not an actor. I don't think I've met an actor.
I don't know if I've met an actor.
I'm related to an actor. Oh, kind of.
I met Josh Norman.
Really?
Yeah, that was cool.
I met D's Nuts guy.
Yeah, the D's
He
Nuts
just walks around Los Angeles.
That's so funny. Like, that's so ridiculous.
I'm trying to think of who else.
I don't know, besides like a bunch of surfers. But that's really it. That's about it.
Met a couple college athletes, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's a given.
Yeah.
Those are different kind of celebrities.
Different kind of celebrities.
Yeah. That's more of a thing that's like, if you go to this school, you know who they are.
Yeah.
Or if you pay attention to this conference, then you know who they are.
Yeah.
Like, who would you say is the biggest person that you would see out in Raleigh? You'd be like, wow, that's
J. Cole.
J. Cole.
Yeah.
J. Cole. I guess that's.
But he's not
worldwide.
local anymore, though.
He's big time.
I mean,
he
still comes around. For sure.
I mean, every single year in April he'll be right here in Raleigh, North Carolina.
Sky
McCreary, Darius Rucker, perhaps.
Did you guys see what happened?
Yeah.
I mean, he's in jail.
He's not on a bond or
no, he's still in there. And I feel I feel terrible for this guy.
He had weed and some other substance they couldn't identify. I read it was like some mystery, like psychedelic. They couldn't figure out what it was.
I mean, what's going on with that guy? Man? He was here not that long ago playing at Coastal Credit.
He will still play your wedding for $1 million.
For $1 million, he'll play the wedding. It's ridiculous. What a guy.
I mean, I just think he knows his lane.
He does know his lane.
But does that pretty much wrap up the movie, or do we have any final thoughts?
I think that it's really, really fun. It's fun.
It was fun,
but it gets serious, and then it gets fun again. And the whole last scene, whenever that same song comes on, but then you see her hand reach over, it's like, not again.
I think it even has the perfect excuse for you to watch it once a year, because it's based on a holiday.
Yeah, it's like,
so it like has this. I just think it's like the ultimate package in a movie.
I wonder if
not
there's
only is it
other-
fun, is it serious? Are there like niche little actors that you really like to find in there? Like you really like the performances from the actors, but it's like based around a certain time of the year, so there's a reason for you to pull it out and watch it every year. You know, so I think it's just kind of a complete package to make a classic movie.
So what were y'all's ratings on it?
I give it a 9.
Edge of Tomorrow is about Groundhog Day.
Edge of Tomorrow.
You know, Edge
I've
of
heard of it.
Tomorrow.
I don't
It's
know.
like that Chris Pratt and
no. That was Tomorrow
Tom
War.
Cruise and whatever Emily Blunt.
Yeah. I've not seen that.
Came out not.
You're
too
talking
long
about
ago.
Tomorrow War. That movie sucked.
With
Chris Pratt.
With Chris Pratt.
Yeah.
And like the aliens.
And J.K. Simmons.
I didn't even watch it.
It was trash.
But Edge of Tomorrow, it takes place on Groundhog Day.
Really?
That's the only other one. We got Groundhog Day and Edge of Tomorrow.
I did give it a 9. I would say the last thing I'll say about it is that I really always like the line, very serious line in the movie, where he's in the bowling alley with the guys, and he was like, "What would you do if you're repeating the same things over and over again, stuck in the same place, and your life meant nothing?" And the guy's like, "I'm basically right there with you, man." And just like some normal dude.
Yeah. It's
I was like, wow, okay.
every day's the same.
Oh wow, I guess we're all just like that.
That was a really funny scene. Whenever they're driving on the railroad tracks, it's like,
Yeah.
I bet he'll swerve first. And it's a train.
See, that's the part of living the same day over and over again that I'd really like. You know,
Like just go fuck around.
Yeah. Well, you are the type of guy that likes, your Saturdays kind of look the same.
But that's the thing in our life right now. Like you could do some convincing, like even just like your roommates. Like you could like you would learn how to convince them. Like, all right, let's go rob a fucking bank tonight. Like you would learn how to do it. You would learn how to convince somebody to do it.
But I know what you're saying.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm saying.
Consequences.
You would learn how to.
It definitely, if you were, because otherwise you'd be bored. You would be so bored by doing the same things over and over. So like you have to have exciting things for yourself to do.
Dude, but the no hangover thing. Whenever the first guy was like, no hangovers, I was like, yep, that would be insane. Like imagine that. Imagine no hangover. And dude, the guy, the dude that he kept calling Pop, that was the older dude, dude. He was like, he's just dying, and he's like convinced. He's like trying to. Save this guy. That was so.
That's the point in the movie that you learn that he's not God. That he's already announced that he's God. He has all these powers that he can know everything.
Trying to give him
actually change.
Trying to take him to the hospital. Just don't let him die.
And he learns he can't actually change everything.
Yeah.
He can't affect the world in that regard.
He
is a victim of this happening to him, not like the perpetrator of I am making all this happen.
Yeah.
A victim of circumstance.
Sure.
Oh, I mean, I would give it a 8 out of 10. I think it's a really good 4-star movie. I think it's a really good 4-star movie.
So we got a 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10, and 9 out of 10.
I feel like most of our movies are like that. 7, 8, 9. Like in some order.
Oh, yeah. I'm really curious for the next one.
About time?
Yep. Next movie is About Time.
It's about time we did About Time.
It's about time.
It's about time we did About Time.
Hopefully they'll...
In the same category of movie as this movie.
Yeah, it's very similar.
In my Letterboxd review, I'm not going to spoil anything.
I thought it was like a rom-com.
Oh. It is. Well, let's just save it for the next episode.
Is it?
Who is it? It's the... Not Jessica
Domhnall
Simpson.
Gleeson is the main character.
Yeah, he was in that the Black Mirror episode.
Yes, and he's in one of the new Star Wars movies.
Which one? Yes.
The Force.
Yeah. He's the guy who's like blown to pieces.
Yeah.
That guy.
He's good actor. Rachel McAdams.
Is she good looking in this one?
In like a very normal person way, not in the celebratory.
Not
way.
like the.
She looks like a normal girl that you would see on the sidewalk. Like, wow, that's a cute girl, and I vibe with that.
That's exciting.
So hopefully, this will come out sometime soon, and About Time will come out sometime after. We're back. We're trying to do bi-weekly, weekly.
Whatever the schedule allows.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens.
When we get moved.
Yeah.
By the movie.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, that's a wrap.
All right, fellas.